My little brothers and sisters, today I want to finish the story about Michael Grace and the lesson that he taught me. Michael Grace was a homeless man. He was a homeless man. And he taught me an important life lesson. A lesson I've been learning all my life about judging people. What you see when you see a person, an individual for the first time or at all, when you see that person, you see them at a still image, a moment in their life. Don't judge that person based on that image. A person is a moving picture. A person is a film. They're a movie. They have a long story. Don't judge them based on a snapshot from that story. I'm going to ask you to subscribe to this, whatever you're watching this on, and I'm going to ask you to come to my YouTube. And please subscribe to my YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and to share this message with all your friends, because I'm trying to grow a project, a humanitarian project, that is going to help people like Michael and other people to get back on their feet, out of homelessness, in Michael's case, out of homelessness, back to employment, self-sufficiency, and living again. Sometimes people just need someone to offer more than just bread and water, but a helping hand, and to be there the next day and the day after that. That's what I want to do. Won't you help me? Won't you help me? Because the butterfly effect experiment cannot be unless my message spreads to you and you spread it to other people. So I'm going to ask you to please do that for me. So you see a homeless man on the ground, and that's how I met Michael Grace. When I was taking bread around to the homeless people in my neighborhood in Yorkville, Upper East Side, New York City, Manhattan. When I used to distribute bread, I used to find this tiny little Irishman from Ireland. He had a strong accent. It was from Ireland. He was a true Irishman. He was 5'3", maybe, I don't know. But he had a big heart, and he was a big man and a big soul. He had wisdom beyond his body, beyond what his body said. And he taught me an important life lesson. And that was, don't judge a person by the image you see. That person has a long story. Michael Grace, and what a name he had. I used to find him all over the neighborhood, everywhere, anywhere, literally sleeping by the side of the curb, in the street, spread out on the sidewalk, just wherever he collapsed. He was an alcoholic, big time alcoholic. So basically every day, every moment, almost every moment I ever met him, he was drunk. Whether it be the morning, the nighttime, the middle of the day, most of the time he was drunk. You couldn't even tell he was drunk. He was so good at being drunk. Sometimes you couldn't tell. But I realized that one time I brought him into my apartment to take a shower and to shave, because he looked especially raggedy that day. I got him some toiletries, and I said, listen, why don't you come in my apartment, take a shower, shave. I'll give you a change of clothes if you want to wash your clothes. And it took him so long in the bathroom. And afterwards I realized why. He couldn't get the pants on that I gave him. He left the soap. He washed himself with the bar soap, and he never took the paper off. He didn't realize there was paper on it. He was that drunk. So, and I couldn't tell he was drunk, but he was that drunk. So anyway, somebody might judge him based on the fact that he was an alcoholic, right? A lot of people don't want to give any money to a guy because he's an alcoholic, right? He's just going to spend it on alcohol. You know, he may spend that money on alcohol, but guess what? A human being needs to eat. Every day, if he doesn't eat, he's going to be hungry, right? He also needs to eat, right? So who are you to say he's going to use my dollar for alcohol, so I'm not giving it to him? It's a waste. Doesn't he have to eat? Maybe he wants a cup of coffee. Maybe he could do something important with a few extra dollars. Maybe there's something he's dreaming about doing. Maybe he could buy a Metro card, or maybe he wants to buy a Metro card. Maybe, you know, he wants to get himself some nice clothes so he can go into the museum that he doesn't feel comfortable entering. You don't know, so don't judge him. I saw people spit on Michael Grace, men in suits, businessmen like me. I saw a man knock him down, basically on the sidewalk in the middle of the day. Push him and knock him down, like bump into him and knock him down on purpose. On purpose. I saw a man spit on him. You never treat another human being like that. Another human being is not refuse because they haven't accomplished what you've accomplished and what you think you've accomplished, or you think they haven't accomplished anything in their life, or you think they're lazy, or you think they're an alcoholic, or you think they're a bum, or you think they're the way they are, it's because of them, it's their fault. You've been through struggles, and so you think they should be able to handle it. They have a different tolerance level than you. How do you know? How do you know what struggles they've been through? Maybe the struggles they've been through are unfathomable to you. You know, Michael was a good person. He was a good person. I don't think he would harm a soul. One time I wanted to give him some bread and water, and you know what he said to me? One of the first times I met him, I woke him up off the sidewalk. I just met him while he was waking up, and I was giving him bread and water. And me and Marley were there, and we chatted for a little bit. And he said, "Thank you." And I said, "That's okay, I get the bread for free, it's no problem. I have to walk my dog anyway." He said, "Not for the bread, not for the water." He said, "For talking to me. Make me feel like a human being again. Like a man, like a person." That's the way you should treat everybody. I used to have business meetings with CEOs of companies. I used to have meetings with people who managed millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. I ate dinner with a billionaire at least once. At least one billionaire, possibly two. All around me, in my own little world were people of all different sorts, and I treated them all equally. Whether it was the CEO, I didn't put him up on a pedestal. And the homeless man, I didn't kick dirt on him. But that's the way you have to treat people. That's the way you have to treat people. Because people are your equal, it's your brother, it's your sister. Don't look at their stature in life or where they are today in this still image. So Michael said that to me, and he made me realize that I was doing more than just giving bread and water. I was uplifting spirits. And another time I brought some friends of mine, Antonia and Nico, if you're watching, with me. I said, "Come with me, you're going to love this. Giving out bread and water to the homeless, it's going to fill your heart like you never experienced before in your life. It's just going to make you full of love." And they came with me, and one of the first people we gave something to was Michael. And I said, "Go ahead, you guys do it, I know this guy." And they went up to him, and he said, "Can't you see I'm doing something?" He yelled at them. "Can't you see I'm reading the Bible?" He was reading a little Bible. The one moment they were doing their first good deed with me. They've done good deeds before in their own lives. And they've done many since and many before. But on that day, when I told them they would be enriched, they got yelled at by Michael. They were scolded by Michael. That's one funny story. And then one sad story is the story of Michael's life that enlightened me about why Michael was who he was today. Michael told me, I'm a carpenter. I can do construction work. I fixed the steps of the Janhus Church on 74th Street. I did the cement work there, fixed their steps for them. He said, I used to work as a worker, laborer, contractor, carpenter. And he told me the story of his life. He said, I was married. I had children. He said, in Ireland. One day, my wife left me in care of the children. Now, I don't remember the details of this story. That either they were in a car accident or they were struck by a car, and his children were both killed. Now you might say he was probably drunk driving and it was his fault. I don't know. I'd say probably not. I'd say this event happened to him. And then his wife blamed him for it. She blamed him for it afterwards. And she left him. So overnight, he lost everything important to him. And now every day, he was drinking himself into oblivion in order to forget that, because of the guilt he carried. Imagine, he felt himself to be at fault of his 2 children's death. Just put yourself in those shoes. How devastating that must have been. Then, the one person he has left, his wife, leaves him and blames him. So every day he drank himself to oblivion. Forget the nightmare of his life. So I did my best to cheer Michael up. You'll see in one of the other videos I made, and I'll link to it here, how I failed Michael in the end. And he's a big reason why today I help people with urgency. When they ask me for something important, with urgency, I help them. I respond right away. Because I failed to help Michael. And he might still be alive today, had I acted on the day he asked me for help. For specific help. But the point of this message is not that. You can see that message by clicking on the link at the end of this. The point of this message is, don't judge a book by its cover. A book has a story to tell. There's a story when you open that cover. There's a big story. Never judge a book by its cover. Never judge a man or a woman. I'm going to ask you to subscribe to this, whatever you're watching this on, and I'm going to ask you to come to my YouTube. And please subscribe to my YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and to share this message with all your friends. Because I'm trying to grow a project, a humanitarian project, that is going to help people like Michael and other people to get back on their feet. Out of homelessness, in Michael's case, out of homelessness, back to employment, self-sufficiency, and living again. Sometimes people just need someone to offer more than just bread and water, but a helping hand, and to be there the next day and the day after that. That's what I want to do. Won't you help me? Because the butterfly effect experiment cannot be unless my message spreads to you and you spread it to other people. So I'm going to ask you to please do that for me. This is a global project. Doesn't matter where it's starting. If you help it to get started, it will spread globally. It will come to the people you know around you eventually. And if you make a significant donation, very significant donation, enough for me to start up a project in another country, then I'll move to your country first. I have plans where to start, and those countries have been selected carefully. But if you make a significant donation, I'll come and help your people. Your people will be one of the first people I help. And I'm talking about 10,000 or more. 10,000 euro or dollars or more. That's the kind of donation I need to come to your country and start in your country first. So spread the word. Help me to help people like Michael. My project for the homeless is going to be dedicated to Michael. It's going to be named after him and dedicated to him. I should have made him my roommate. I should have made him my business partner, my lifelong friend. But his memory will be eternal, and it's part of the fuel that fires me. So please help me.